Hi Belfast. I'm just going to do a quick video on factoring and how I make sure I've found all the factors of a particular number. So the first example that I'm going to give you will be a smaller number, and then I will move to the bigger number just to show you two examples showing you the process. All right, I just put this here so I'd have something to show you and say hi. Okay, so our first example is going to be the number 18. Okay, so what I would do with 18 is right away I know that 1 times 18 are factors of 18. Then I might go, I don't know what other numbers are factors. So I'm going to take one that I do know. And let's say the only way I know it is by looking at fractal multiplication, because I couldn't remember what are two factors. So I look on here and I can see 3 groups of 6. So I'll write down 3 groups of 6. Okay, and what I'm going to do with that is break it down into all of its primes, which are called prime factorization. But don't let the big name scare you. It's just you're breaking it down so until you can't break it down anymore. So 3 is a prime, so I can't actually break that down anymore. But 6 I could write as 2 groups of 3. So, and 2 is a prime, and 3 is a prime. So now I've broken everything down into its primes. So if I took a calculator and went 3 times 3 times 2, so right, 3, 3, and 2, and I took all those primes, if I multiplied them together, that would equal 18. Okay, so this is what's called the prime factorization for the number 18. Okay, so then I go back to my factors and I go, okay, well I knew 1 for sure, but 2. Now what are 2 times what will give me 18? So, because just like in the other video, it's good to go in order. So start with 1 and then try 2. And I can make a grouping with 2. So if I pick 2, then what's left over is this 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. And I know for sure that 2 groups of 9 is also equal to 18. So that works. So then my next number that I can try is 3. Actually, I'm just going to scooch this over because I'm running out of room. So 1 group of 18 we found, 2 groups of 18, and we were on 3. So start with 1, 2, and now we're on 3. So yeah, 3 would also be a factor of 18, and I can multiply that with what's left, which would be 3 times 2, which is 6. And 3 times 6 is absolutely, as we can see here, is absolutely factors of 18. So then I'm going to try 4. Can I make 4 with the numbers I have here? No, I can't. So I know 4 is not a factor of 18. Let's try 5. Nope, I cannot multiply 2 of these together to make 5. And 5 is a prime anyways, and it's not in my prime factorization, so it is also not a factor. So then the next one I can do is 6. But if we look here, I've already got 6. So I'm done. I now have come full circle and I found all the different factors. So then I can write them in ascending order and go 1, 2, 3, 6. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, this should have been a 9. My bad. 9 and 18. Okay, and if we notice, we can call this sort of a factor rainbow, that 1 times 18 are those multiplied to 18, 2 times 9 multiplied to 18, and 3 times 6 multiplies to 18. So that's just a nice way of checking that you've got all the factors. So now let's do the same thing, but let's use a bigger number. So let's say I was doing 48. Okay, so once again, I can right away write down 1 times 48. Oh, is that off the page? Let me try that a little closer. 1 group of 48. Okay, so I've got that one. Now I might go, I have no idea what multiplies to 48. So you can do two things with that. You can either go, this is an even number, so I know for sure it'll be divisible by 2. And you could then figure that out, but maybe you have no idea what that is even. You could break this in half. That would be another way, but I'm going to use the same way I did before and just look on my factor multiplication, and I can see 8 groups of 6. So I'm going to write that down. 8 groups of 6. Now neither of these are prime, so I have to keep breaking it down. So I'm going to take 8 and break it down into 4 groups of 2. Okay, 2 is a prime, so I'm going to put a box around that. 6, I can break that down into 2 groups of 3, and both of those are primes. So I'm going to put boxes around those. This guy, however, is not a prime, so I have to break him down further. 2 groups of 2, and both of those are primes. So there's nothing else for me to break down. So I know the prime factorization for 48 is 2, 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. That is equal to 48. And now I can figure out all my prime factors that connect to that. So 2, if I took 2, then I'd have to multiply it by what's left. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. And that makes sense. 2 groups of 24 is definitely 48. Okay, so the next number I would do is 3. So 3, and then I see what's left over. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 3 groups of 16 will also equal 48. Okay, now the next number I can do is 4. I can definitely make 4 with my factors here. So 4 times whatever's left is going to be 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. So 4 groups of 12 equals 48. Let's try 5. There is no factor 5 in this list, so I know 5 is not a factor. 6 would be my next number. I can definitely make a 6, and then I times it by what's left. So 6 groups of 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and we had that here to begin with. So I know for sure that works. Then my next number would be 7, but there's no factor of 7 in this list. And 8, I can definitely do 8, but I've already got 8, so I'm good. I know I've reached all the factors of 48. So then I'm going to list them in ascending order and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and this is kind of going off the screen, 48. Scooch that down a little bit if I can. So now I can quickly check with my rainbow. So I can go 1 times 48, yep. 2 times 24, yep. 3 times 16, 4 times 12, and 6 times 8. So I have found all the factors of 48. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. Bye for now.